thank you for having me today. I appreciate it. And as was mentioned, Transition Projects, we're 56 years old. We're the largest shelter provider in the state of Oregon. And so on any given night, 700 people are in our shelters where we work to help them get into permanent housing. And that's our goal, helping people that are on the street move to shelter or sometimes just straight into housing, and then helping them stay in their housing. So like all of us, they are settled, they can be with their families, they can make their own meals, and they can do all the things that they want to do because they have a roof over their head. Transition Projects is very appreciative of all of the meals. If you've made a dish, you've made some food for Transition Project shelters, raise your hand. If you cooked something, made something, dropped off with a tool for deliveries, thank you, thank you, thank you. Those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meals over the last almost 7, 8, well, 4 years, at least 4 years, but even before that, those meals mean so much. We try to give a hot meal to everyone in our shelters every night. We're required to do that. We want to do that. We just don't have enough money to pay for food, believe it or not. So your meals help with the budget and help bring a hot meal to somebody who's very vulnerable and not doing so well. So a very huge thank you to all that you do, all the volunteering. The volunteering that all of you do is so impressive and so important, not just to Transition Projects, but to all the things, all the goals that you have, that you've set, from cleaning trails to making meal. All those things are so fantastic. So thank you for doing all of that, and especially important for the youth as they see mom and dad doing things and that they join in. So thank you for getting that next generation going as well. Really important. So with that, anything else anybody wants to know?
Any questions?
Any questions?
I know a lot of you actually contribute to the meals on a monthly basis. So if you have any questions to Roma, please go ahead and ask her.
There are no bad questions, wrong questions. All questions are good. So if you had a question about shelter or what we're doing or homelessness, or I can try and answer that for you.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So how do you choose these? Like there are so many homeless people, right? And we go to Portland downtown, and we see so many people on the streets still living there. So how do you choose who will get to be with the shelter and who may not be there?
That's a really great question. I don't know if you heard it. There are so many people that are experiencing homelessness now. How do we choose who gets to come inside? So we have 703 beds. People have to come to us and ask to be in shelter. And once they sign up, once there's an open bed, they sign up, they can stay in our shelter as long as they need to. It's a reservation, it's done on a reservation basis. So there's no lining up every night. They can leave their things. They can bring a partner. So if it's a mother and daughter or a husband and wife, they can bring their pets. So if they have a dog or a cat, they can bring them inside too, because that's their family. There are other shelter providers. There's not a lot of shelter beds. As we all know, there are more people experiencing homelessness than there are shelter beds. Not everybody wants to come inside because you have to follow rules. And so we just, when people come to us and want to come inside, we try to find an empty shelter bed for them. And if we don't have it, we look around and try and find it with someone else. But yeah, there are about 2,000 shelter beds, and there's 4,000, 5,000 unsheltered people. Or I should say there's another 3,000 or 4,000 unsheltered. So there just aren't enough shelter beds in the metro area to help everybody. And that the new mayor is working on that. Any other questions anyone would like to ask?
Kids have any questions?